They just take off, you know. And then when you come over here, back stitch and stop. Always bring your take-up level all the way up, and then when you push your knee, see, it's separate and it's ready to go for the next seam. You don't have to worry about losing the thread or anything. So I just want this to be pressed like this, okay? All right, now we're going to place the front piece. Make sure your thread is underneath, and keep an eye on these little seams so that they stay open. I'm going to start in the center. Everybody can see?
Yep.
Okay. Now you can write down whatever you want. Now, because, let me see, can I have a screwdriver, please? This foot doesn't feel right. You gotta make sure that these feet are all the way up. Is this all the way up? It was kind of dancing. Okay. All right. Okay, now when I get to that ½ inch mark, I'm going to change to a number 1 stitch, and I'm going to use my hand wheel . Now when you pivot corners, you know that you keep the needle down to get a good corner. And I'm staying kind of on the outer edge of that line. Let me see, one more stitch. Okay, look. Back to 2.5. That foot, I don't know, that foot is kind of funny. It keeps moving. Okay. All right, I'm going to change to number 1 again. Pivot. I see. I know. I just figure out. I think this is too much pressure. It keeps wiggling. And then you come back and you just kind of overlap in your seam, and that's it. Okay, now let's go back to the table. Okay, now before I cut it open, I double check. I make sure that I don't, that my seams are flat in the back. I cut my tails. And then I double check my measurement. You can fold it up like this, and you can move it like that. See, to make sure that your opening is even. See, you can sort of measure, because everything depends on what you just did. The whole pocket from now on, you know, guides the measurement. So we'll take it, it fits, it looks good. So also, it's for the type of pocket we're doing, the welt, it's very important that the center line is correct. You gotta have a 1/4 inch to each side, and then we'll take about a 1/2 inch on an angle for the little corners. So I'm gonna cut this open right in the middle. So take your time. This, you know, this fabric is a little... And when you come in these corners, you cannot say, ooh, I'm scared. I cannot, I don't want to cut all the way down there. You have to. You have no choice. As long as you don't cut the threads. But you got to get in there, and you have to get into the... Just don't make these triangles too small. You want to have it about a 1/2 inch up. See, and then you want to work that nicely up in there. So, and also always watch what goes on underneath so that you don't accidentally, you know, have this under there, and the next thing you know, you cut a hole into the upper part. So always protect other things. See, you got to kind of get into that little corner. The better you do it, the nicer it comes out. Okay. Now, before I do anything else with it, I'm going to take these 2 little seams here and grate them. It's very important, guys. Grate your little seams and grate the area where the... Grating means just to cut those corners down a little bit, make less bulky. Take away the bulk, okay? All right? Okay, now I'm going to show you how to press it. Follow me. Now, like you know, like we already talked about this before, the pressing is everything. That is makes and breaks your garment. So if you want to be lazy and you're going to sew this whole thing together, and then at some point you decide, oh, I think I should press, you know, don't do that, because you have to press as you go along. Now, in order to turn this easier to the other side, first of all, we're going to press it like this to get it nice and flat. It's called melting. So you want to make sure this, then we're just going to take these and sort of hit on them to get them nice and flat in the corners. To kind of get a head start. If you did this good, you're not going to have any problems with the rest of it. Now, these seam allowances on the side are a little bit more than usual because they're 1 inch, where, you know, but we're going to trim them later. So we have this head start, which means when you turn this now to the inside, it cooperates easier. See? Because now I just bring these corners in. You see, I already have partial flatness, and I'll pull these corners nice and flat. Okay? And press them down. You want to have no tucks, no bubbles, no strange things in the corners. They got to be nice and flat. Now, some of you, you know, with a slightly lighter fabric, it's going to be a little bit easier. This fabric is cotton bouquet. It's a little on the dry side. So, okay, now, see, we got the corners flat. Now we're going to let them sort of fall in place, and we're going to take these little inside seams plus the extension, and we're going to bring this and press it flat. Nice and flat. This has to be nice and flat. Now there is a method where they just press it to one side, but that doesn't come out as nice. Now, once you press this open, you know what this measurement is, right? What is it?
1/4.
1/4. This was the center, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't this the center? Right. So all you have to do now is take the welt and fold it right over this edge. And that is exactly half. See? Now, it also creates a filling, like it's an extra layer inside the welt, which makes your welt nicer. It makes a nicer welt. So we're going to bring this over. See? This is one side. Then we take the other side, and actually it lines right up like that. That means it's right in the middle. So now we're going to do this side. See, when these two pieces line up with each other, that means you're doing okay. All the way over. Now, let's see. I lost the corner here. All right. Now you take this side and fold it, and also, see, it meets in the middle. See that? You're supposed to be excited about that.
Yes.
Now we just have to say a little prayer. Who's doing the prayer? Because at this point I just went by blind faith to make sure that this side is perfect. See? See, the welts are right there, all in place. Look at them. See? They're perfectly centered, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See that? Okay, so it's just math, right?
Oh, don't say math. It's going to freak some of us out.
Yeah, this came out quite well. Okay, so let's go back to the next step. Now, the next step is something that you probably never done before or even heard of. But I'm going to change from a regular foot to a zipper foot, because the next kind of things we're going to be doing. What happened to my belt? To my flap?
It's over there.
Did you, yeah, that and the flap?
You have the flap.
I had a flap. Oh, I got it. Because when we're going to finish this up now, we're going to end up with different layers. Like one side is going to be lower than the other. And if you use a regular foot, there's going to be a tendency to slide off. But if you use a zipper foot, it makes it stay in place. So the first thing we're going to do is the lower welt, okay?
Which is the left or the right zipper foot?
Yeah, we're going to use a right foot.
The right foot.
But the lower welt is done first. So I'm looking at my measurement here. I'm going to fold this back, and I'm going to find the, now remember there is a whole seam in here, a pressed open seam, but we only want the one side of it. So we're going to bring this back.